Call to order. Counselor Deere, would you honor us with a blessing?
Lord, thank you for letting us gather today to do the work for the Cherokee Nation and their people. Let everybody have safe travels, and thank God we got through COVID with everybody and the people that passed, and have prayers for all those families as well. Amen.
Thank you, Counselor. Shelley, would you conduct the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Keith Austin.
Here.
Joshua Sam. Here. Danny Callison.
Here.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Sean Crittenden.
Here.
Joe Deere.
Connie.
Mike Dobbins. Rex Jordan.
Here.
Johnny Kidwell.
Here.
Daryl Legg.
Here.
Wes Snowfire. Dora Petskowski.
Here.
Mike Shambaugh.
Here.
Melvina Shot Pouch. E.O. Smith.
Here.
Condessa Teehee. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
We got a motion and a second someplace over here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Counselor
Yes.
Callison, would you?
I would like to amend the agenda to add the FY22 Capital Mod 2 to new business.
Second. We've got a motion and a second to add that to the new business. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's added to the agenda as item number 2. Thank you. And that brings us to reports. Cherokee Nation business. I believe Molly is standing in for Mr. Garrett today.
Good afternoon. Good to be back with you all. Yes, I'll do my best to sub for Mr. Garrett while he is out. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and counselors. So the detail of our C&B's February financial performance was summarized in the E&F report that's included in your packet. Happy to report that February was a very good month for us, with revenue exceeding the previous year and ahead of target. Our February net income for our gaming properties was above target, and revenue was consistent with target and ahead of the previous year. Strong monthly revenue results are also driven by the execution of CFED contracts on our Cherokee Federal side. And then through the first 5 months of our fiscal year 22, our profits are exceeding our prior year and our targets. Just to note that our Hard Rock and West Siloam Springs casino operations have resumed 24/7 operations and have fully opened all of our hotels. They were limiting capacity, but those are now fully operational. And then retail gaming at Catoosa, West Siloam, and the Roland Travel Plaza have all resumed, as well as poker at both Hard Rock and West Siloam Springs casinos. We do still struggle with staffing shortages, as you hear in the news and many places. It continues to impact our operations, especially and limit some hours of operation of some venues during certain time periods. So we are always looking to hire. We've had a lot of hiring fairs and always looking for employee referrals. So just wanted to put that note out there in case you know of anyone looking that we're hiring basically at all locations and continuously having job fairs and even having some hiring on the spot fairs. And that concludes the report unless there are any questions for me.
Are there questions for Molly? Yes, Melvina.
Molly, Sunday night I passed by West Siloam, and for Sunday night, it was exceptionally busy. I didn't know if they had anything special or what, but that parking lot it was full. So everybody was glad to see it open again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. I do think people are enjoying getting out, yes.
Counselor Coates?
Yes, thank you. Molly, I just wanted to mention that CNB has donated $5,000 to the Tulsa Opera, and so to ask you, I guess, to convey our thanks to Mr. Garrett and to Ms. Edwards, who were helping with that. And the reason I bring that up is because there is a production of Salome that will take place on April 29th through May 1st, and it is being directed by a Cherokee Nation citizen named Thaddeus Strasburger, who is a descendant of Redbird Six Killer. He is an at-large citizen who lives in London, and this will be the first time, I believe, that the Tulsa Opera production, a Tulsa Opera production, has been directed by a Cherokee Nation citizen. So that's why the donation was forthcoming, and I also want to acknowledge former Counselor Mary Baker Shaw's work in that, but just to acknowledge CNB's donation to that with great gratitude. So thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Coates.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yes, CMB is honored to support the arts always, and our Cherokees in the arts.
Are there other questions for Molly relating to our businesses? Molly, I have a comment of thanks. There's a child care center in Catoosa who is ran by the Methodist Church, and they've sold their building, and basically they know their days are coming to a close of being in that building. And they reached out, and the Cherokee Nation business has been very helpful. I'm not sure that there will be a resolution for them. I'm just saying they've been very helpful in trying to work with that group to find alternate locations someplace in the service area to keep that child care in the community. It's so important. Child care is, we're so short on quality child care, and for them to just be a community partner, to work with a group to say, we will help. I'm not talking about supplying them with a location. I'm saying we're just going to help you. We're going to do the research for you. We're going to see if there is some locations that you're unaware of. And they have brought to the light a location that may be suitable if the pieces all fall into place. But that is just being a great community partner, because that's not our business. We don't have a business stake in it. We have a community stake in it. And it's good for the community in which we conduct business. And that's being a true community partner. And you guys deserve applause for that. Thank you.
That's so true. Thank you for that recognition.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I think you're pretty good.
Thank you so much. Good to see you all.
So I have something very exciting for you all today. It is the Cherokee Nation's comprehensive report, the annual comprehensive report. This is Connie Chandler. She is one of my amazing staff, and these are just hot off the press. So you guys should be thrilled to death, proud of your financial resources department. The auditor said after reviewing our books, our transactions went up 118% from the previous fiscal year to this one, and still our accounting was spot on. Thank you, Connie. And they said we should really be proud. You all should be proud of your financial resources staff, and I know that I am. I had talked a little bit about the popular annual financial report that is not a mandatory thing. This one's mandatory, but the popular one is not. The popular one is an easy-to-read format that people who are not accountants can understand. And we have just got this one printed. This is just my copy off of a low-resolution printer, but we'll have copies of this for you. And these are usually available at the front desk for citizens that want to see them. But it's similar. It's much easier to understand. One thing that I'm especially proud of, there is a two-page spread, one devoted to the CARES Act, one devoted to ARPA dollars so far, which a lot of your constituents are interested in. So I think you're going to be excited when you get that, and I'll have those for you in April. Another thing that I wanted to bring up outside of my report, I had sent a link to Treasury. I think I sent it to you, Councilor Austin, and maybe you, Councilor Sam. Treasury had released some FAQs around payments that citizens may have received, like our individual assistance payments, rental assistance, just different things that the tribe had provided. And now that people are doing their taxes, a lot of citizens are having questions around those. Do they count as income? That sort of thing. And those questions are answered in that FAQ. So anyone else who is interested in getting that link, let me know, and I will send it to you. It's very informative. That's all I have outside the report. Are there any questions for me?
That report is informative, and it's easy to digest.
It
Which
is.
is unusual for a government report. So I appreciate that report a whole lot.
Sure.
Are there questions for the treasurer? Yes, Mr. Speaker.
It's not a question, it's a comment. Appreciate you taking my call the other day and answering my question really quick. It's the same thing that you talked about, and then I get, later that evening, I got, that email, so, but yeah, well, I have had several calls, and I appreciate you being accessible. Appreciate you.
And that link puts it very, as Councilor Austin said, it's very clear, it's easy to understand, and I think it will be helpful if you guys want to share that with your constituents. And to that point, I'm always available. You guys have my phone number, give me a call, we'll work through it together. Your problems are my problems, we'll figure them out.
That's what I
Counselor
tell
Deere?
people.
Denise, I was going to say something, but Shambaugh took it too. We've had a lot of things in Owasso going on with a lot of questions, and, we even talked one evening because the lady had so many questions, and I was glad you were accessible, Leaving us as a counselor was easier, but, your different role, you've taken it and just gone with it. I mean, and I'm appreciative, but I know the people dealing with the ARPA money, the CFR money, all the different money, and you always got the answer, so you're easy to get, because, I could tell them in my best opinion, but I said, let me let you talk to her. And you're really helpful, especially with the new leaf, which is coming up.
Yes.
That was different, and, she called me afterward and said, she's really nice. I said, yeah, I know. Yeah, she's really nice, but she said you made it understandable to her
Yeah.
what she needed to do, which obviously I couldn't, but I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate it, and you're doing amazing, so
No, thank you.
thank you.
I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to take your calls.
Counselor
Yeah, I
Creighton?
just thought I was special. Now Mike's talking to Mike and Joe, but no, this week, you really,
Well,
I thought, man.
yeah, I told
special.
him that. I said, don't tell everybody. Yeah, he said, you always answer your phone. And I said, oh, don't let that get out.
No, but seriously, she bailed me out of a couple things, and there was a time constraint, probably a little bit my fault. Not a whole lot though, right, Joe? But she bailed us out with little time to spare, so I'll echo what they say.
I'm here for you guys.
Appreciate you.
I do believe, having walked in the shoes of us before, makes her really appreciate why we're asking these questions and the constituents we serve, and I think it helps us serve well by having that understanding. Are there others?
All right. Oh, Junior.
Counselor Smith?
It's kind of silly, but this has been brought up to me since you financial, closest things to the bank and everything. Are we going to be able to get any extra man-killer quarters, any way, any form?
I don't have any idea about that, but I can,
That would really be interesting, because we'd take them off, we could get them
oh,
probably.
yeah,
But I was just wondering, thank you.
you betcha. I'll
Appreciate that.
see about that.
Anything else? Any closing thoughts, Treasurer?
Nope.
All
Happy,
right.
so happy to be your treasurer
Well, it appears we're happy with you right now.
right now.
I'd say
Yeah, check that
I'd
on.
say cherish it while it lasts.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right. Diane Kelly. It is good to see you here, Diane.
Well, thank you, Chairman. I just have to brag on somebody. you know, that Gina Blackfox came over from the administration, and she's heading up the call center, and we're now located in the business part of the Woodmark building. And Gina and I talk on the way home and early in the morning, sometimes we talk on the weekend, but, you know, her and her team out there, which are participants, by the way, have been doing an outstanding job. Most of these participants have been with her for almost a whole year. And 4 of them, she says, almost has perfect attendance. So they really like what they're doing, and I think they're doing an outstanding job. Most recently, they were asked to help Derek in registration, and they have started taking the calls out there at the call center. And she says the phones are just ringing off the hook. We added about 4 or 5 more people out there to the call center. And I can't say enough about Jeff Carroll and Paula Starr in IT, because anytime we've added somebody, they've come out to do the training for them. And then we have put some books together. And then Derek and then put together some questions and how to answer various things. And I know that there was a few weeks in there, I think some people may have got on Facebook or maybe made some complaints and said that people weren't answering the phone. That's because Derek and them were very shorthanded, and they were trying to get all these things done. And now that the call center is taking those calls, I believe all the calls are being answered. If you hear of anything that's not, just let us know. But Gina and that team out there are doing an outstanding job. Every time I've been out there, the phones are just ringing off the hook. And they're taking the calls, and Derek has put a person out there with them, so that way, someone from his shop, so that they can make contact with someone here in the office. And Carolyn Allen and Derek, have been working with them. Carolyn's got 2 units that she's working with where they've expanded the registration area. So we're all working together to make sure that things happen. So I just wanted to let you know that we're all working together on this to make sure that all of our citizens' needs are being met. So if you see Gina, pat her on the back. If you see Paula Starr, tell her the same thing, and Jeff Carroll and Derek and Carolyn, because they're all doing a good job. We are starting our summer employment programs. You got my report, and we're going to be expanding our leadership program that George does. We're going to expand it into Mays County so that we can capture a few students from up north so that they don't have to drive all the way down here to Tahlequah, and then Tahlequah will take care of the southern end. And we hope to expand it even further the next year and the next year. And it's a very successful program. They learn a lot in the first 2 weeks of orientation. And we've got a staff that's going to be working with George with the leadership group. There will only be 10 people in each one of the 2. So when someone says, well, can you expand it more? We are expanding it. We've only had 10 every year, so now we're going to have 20. Maybe next year we'll have 30. We are starting a career exploration program that Ben Barnett and his team are going to be working on, and that's working with 14 and 15-year-olds, and they're going to be exposed to the various careers in their respective areas. That will be in Sequoyah County, Cherokee County, and in Mays County, and then we'll expand that further. Part of the reason that we haven't gone very far is because of space and having the equipment, having the staff to do this. But it's our hopes that at some point in time, we will be able to be in just about every one of our counties. So just wanted to share that with you. We are working right now with our Job Corps recruitment. I was on the telephone with the Dallas Regional Job Corps Director earlier, and they are jump-starting a lot of our Job Corps centers, and there's a lot of things that we can do to help get the centers full. It's not only our center, but all the other centers in the nation. And so there's some exciting things that's coming down the pipe on that. Our fire program, I've got a meeting with the BIA fire coordinator or director, Mr. Goring, next week, and they're wanting to do some more things with our fire program. So I'm real pleased with all the things that's going on at Job Corps and in our fire program. We are doing a recruitment drive, a campaign, so to speak, for our nursing program. Steve says they have a need for nurses. And with the pandemic, that's one of the areas that we're really trying to get a lot more people involved in, is getting them trained for nursing. And then we're also doing EMT, and then we're also doing campaigns on child care. Child care is one of the unmet needs nationwide, as well as in the state of Oklahoma. It's also in the Cherokee Nation. And we're going to put some billboards up on the interstate around Sequoyah County, up around the Pryor area and also up around Catoosa. Child care is coming to Catoosa. And Jennifer and I have been working very closely together on laying out the staffing for that office up there. And we're going to have a recruitment fair up there in that big gym. So I'm excited. It's a place for us to go to, so we don't have to bother the Hard Rock. I know Molly was talking about the positions they have. Something you may not know is that I've been meeting on a monthly basis with Stephanie Chipola, who is the HR director at CNB, and also I've been meeting with Samantha over at HR. And I know that there is a need for a lot more recruitment going on, and we hope in Career Services to be able to help with some of those needs in trying to get some of these people trained so that they can be in the pipeline for some of these jobs that are going to be needed. So with these child care centers, we're hoping to get more people trained in the fall as well as in the spring semester. So we've reached out to all of these schools so that we can have these training programs in their respective areas so that they don't have to correspond 5 or 6 counties away. So we're working, with the community colleges, and we're working with the VOTEX, and hopefully you'll hear a little bit more about what we're doing on that. We're meeting with Verna and Leah and Jennifer, and then we had a task force meeting this week, which was comprised of Commerce and Mark Vance in Education. So we're all working in the same arena, and we're all working together to get more people involved with child care, and hopefully we'll get those career ladders built as well. We are working, like I said, in Catoosa for that move, and we're also working in Pryor to expand our services there in our existing office. And then we also are going to be next door to the food distribution site in Veneta, so we will have offices up in the Veneta area, Victoria. So they're saying maybe the summer when we get up there. So we also are working on 5 diversified job recruitment fairs. We'll be recruiting for our child care and our nursing program and some of our other training programs in conjunction with these businesses that have a need. You see signs everywhere that says we're hiring, we're hiring. Well, we're going to be in Sallisaw, Pryor, Tahlequah, Muskogee, and the Tulsa area. And it'll be during the month of May and the month of June. So we're bringing in all these businesses that are asking us to do recruitment fairs for them. And then we'll also have CNB and our tribal government there. Of course, they'll get the prime locations, but we'll have tables set up for these other businesses. So working on that, still working with the major businesses in Sequoia County, Mays County, Tulsa, and Muskogee County. So we've got some businesses that we've been working with in those areas. And we're also working on a data system. One of the things that Brad Sams and Joshua Drywater have been working on, because he's working on grants management, is that they are hoping to get all of our folders for all of our programs scanned, and that we have everything computerized by this time next year, if not before. So we're working on that as well. If there's any questions?
Counselor Deere.
I just want to say, hey, we finally got the career fair at Food on the Move the other day where you sent the guys. I think they were a little overwhelmed when they seen we opened the doors at the Greenwood Cultural Center, because there was about 500 people lined up outside, and it was just those 2 guys. And so we just sort of, to watch their face.
Nobody told me how many to send. I just sent 2, because I thought other programs were sending people.
Yeah, but you should have seen their face. It was other programs, but their face was like, oh, no. Yeah, so that was really good because the Cherokee vote was right next to them. So when they lined up here, I was like, go right there, and then they were just like, goodness, but it was good that people got out again, so.
Good.
And it was good, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the Catoosa Child Development Center and the tag agency being opened, and you having your
And
people
all of
over
our
there.
services, mine and Jennifer's services up there.
Yep, the community organization's going, so they're already established, so that thing's gonna be a big hit as soon as it all gets built out, so. But yeah, I just wanna say thanks for the career fair. I'm glad they got out there. That was the first one since COVID, and you could really see the need, so I'll see you soon again.
Well, all of my staff are so excited about being able to get out, because that's how we do things, is making those connections and working with all of the clients. So they're very excited, all of my
Well,
staff
thank you.
are. Thank you.
Any other questions for Diane? Huh? Yes.
I don't have a question, Diane, but I'll tell you, sitting on this side of things, I can remember when Janice and, even back when Tina was on council, and they would brag on your report. And, we got some awesome stories from the whole program and the reentry. I was just reading those, and man, that's so awesome.
Yes,
I
it is.
appreciate everything y'all are doing, Diane, because y'all help the people that nobody helps. If they're, working with career services for 15 years, we don't get the people that are perfect. We get the people that, boy, they need a leg up. I appreciate you so much.
Well, Daryl, I'm gonna tell you something, we wouldn't have reentry today were it not for you, because you were the one who introduced it. And, I have to applaud you because you did an outstanding job.
Thank you for those words, Darrell. Are there others? On page 13 of your report, it's the organizational highlights on S. Allison, Community Engagement Coordinator, Kendall Whittier, Main Street, Tulsa. I've really been unaware of that, but I just want to point out that my son is a pastor of University Methodist Church, which is in that neighborhood, and if they can engage that, I would encourage them to reach out there, because the churches are always looking for ways to engage with the greater community as well, and they are right there in that community. So I would like to share that information with you after we get finished, because I really think that
Chairman,
connection needs to be
if
made.
you'll just email me that information, I'll have the staff follow up on it. We have that office there in Tulsa, and Josh Drywater oversees that office, and then George Roach oversees our one there in Claremore, and soon to be the one there in Catoosa. And they'll make sure that somebody reaches out to them.
Okay. Well, yes, you have to call him Reverend, though. My
Okay.
son insists I call him Reverend nowadays.
Gotcha. I'll write that down.
Not. Are there any questions further? Diane, we're fortunate to be able to have you in person and be
Thank
together
you.
today, and it really is so much better when we can be together. So thank
It
you
is.
for bringing a report to us
I just
today.
have one more thing. I want to plug the Stillwell Strawberry Festival. Josh may have already done that, but that's a big event that's coming up, and it kind of is the first big parade in the area, but there'll be parades everywhere, every week. But Diamond Days may be before us, the week before, I think, in Salisaw, right? I think it is. But anyway, we will have people out in those parades, and we'll have a representation. So just wanted to let you know that that's coming up May the 14th, and it's on Saturday. If you haven't been to the Stillwell Strawberry Parade, you need to get in it, because it's a big one. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's your turn. You're up.
I keep thinking at some point someone will take pity on me and let me go before Diane instead of following her up all the time. But you do have a copy of my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I will point out that although we really are not taking any more appointments for tax preparation, we do have the ability to do some same-day appointments. So if people are trying to get in somewhere, if they'll call the location of on the day that we're in that location, we can try to work them in. People always do not show up. We always have a couple that don't show up every day. So other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Well, I do want to point out that you said we've received your report. I don't find it in my book. Did it miss my book, or did we not receive it? Okay, I don't think we received your report.
Okay, well, I will check on that.
Would
We send it
you
in.
follow up on that?
I will, and
Thank you.
I'll send a copy to you.
Okay. Are there questions? Yes.
Is the count up on people that we've seen?
No, it's not up this year. The requests are probably up, but we probably need next year to try to recruit additional volunteers from employees. It's hard to get enough days and enough employees to fill all the need that we have.
Mike?
And I'd just like to say thank you for answering my questions the other day on mortgage relief. Just so happened, wasn't 10 minutes after I got off the phone with you, had another family call, and so I was able to give them that information, well, that you sent me in the email. I appreciate that. That helped. I'm sure that's going to help those families a lot.
Good, good.
Thank you.
Daryl?
Mentioned something about mortgage relief. I just had an issue with somebody that was in the hospital and they were 3 months behind on their mortgage. Do we have a program that can help them?
Well, we do the foreclosure prevention, and then the program that I had mentioned to the speaker is called the Housing Assistance Fund, I believe. It's the HAF program. The state of Oklahoma has one. We have one that's not up and running yet, which is coming out of the Housing Authority, out of the Mortgage Assistance Program. And then the state has one where they can help people up to $20,000 to help them with back mortgage payments. There is an income, there is an income limit to it, but they're able to help them with mortgage payments, insurance, property taxes. If they make too much, we can try to help them work with their mortgage company. And then depending on the situation, sometimes we're able to make them a foreclosure prevention loan through our CNEDTA. So we have a couple of options.
Thank you. Anything else? I'm not seeing anything else. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to our consent items, and we've all had an opportunity to look through those. Are there anything that we need to discuss on anything in the consent items? Seeing no concerns, we're going to accept the consent items as presented. So that moves us to business items. We have no old business, but we do have new business. We have number one, and I'll need Mr. Sam, if you would read that and recognize that we are actually entering for the replacement provided for, it'll be 6A instead of mod 6.
This is an act amending legislative act number 44-21, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2022, mod 6A, and declaring an emergency. I put that in form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Any discussion? All right. It is approved. That has been voted on, hasn't it? So it's approved. And then we have item number 2. Counselor Callison, would you take that?
An act amending legislative act number 43-21, authorizing the compensation capital budget for fiscal year 2022, mod 2, and declaring an emergency. I make this in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Sorry. Any discussion? No discussion requested. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It shall be by acclamation. That is our business items. Any announcements? No announcements? We have special counsel coming up at 4 o'clock, and there's no reason for us not to all be here at 4 o'clock, it looks to me. So this meeting is adjourned. If somebody will make that motion. Motion to adjourn, all in favor say aye.
Aye.